Hello and welcome back to my Kansas City Royals series here on Out of the Park Baseball. It is June 4th. It's the first year player draft. We are 38 and 16. We have had quite an interesting season so far this year. If we take a look back to April, you can see we started the season 21 and 1. And then since then we've been 17 and 15. So overall, that means we've got a pretty secure hold on first place. You can see we are 11 games ahead of the Minnesota Twins, so it's some nice breathing room as we head into the middle part of this season. Overall, given our record, things have gone pretty well, but they've been a little bit shaky of late. Ohtani has been basically as promised. Blake Snell has had a very good season, and look at Carlos Martinez. A 2.71 ERA so far this year. Now, a lot of this is BABIP. You can see he's got a very low BABIP. But, he hasn't been awful. Now, his ratings have definitely declined. This is the last year we're going to have him as a member of the Royals for sure. But, hey, it's nice to have the good luck while it lasts. Unfortunately, Skoglund has not been quite as good. And you can see Axel Jimenez is in the starting rotation, and you might be wondering, where is Osmer Morales? Well, I've got bad news, but it could be worse, I guess. So Morales has a sore shoulder. It's unknown when he'll be back. He's made 5 starts this year. He's been fine. So hopefully we can get him back soon because we're going to need him not just this year, but in the years to come. So otherwise, in terms of injuries, I guess I should mention Kenan Shanowski, torn rotator cuff. I mean, is it a surprise at this point? He kind of always seems to be injured. He has not had a good season so far this year. You can see a 7.42 ERA. Obviously, we're going to keep, trying him out, but I think at this point, I don't really expect anything from the career of Kenan Shanowski. Unfortunately, he's so interesting, but I just don't think that he's going to pan out. And unfortunately, Jalen Beeks also injured. He has shoulder inflammation. He'll be out for the next month and a half or so. Hasn't been great so far this year, but obviously didn't pitch much, so not really much to go on there. But let's take a look at the hitting so far. So Zermeno has been awesome, which is great to see. So he is still 22 years old. This is his first full major league season, and basically he can hit. Not a lot of eye, not a lot of fielding, but he can run and he can hit, so that is good enough for me. You can also see Brendan Tinsman, even though he's only played 30 games so far this year, he has the second most WAR on the team. He's got 7 home runs, hitting .350. There is absolutely no way this is going to continue, right? I don't know. We'll see. His BABIP is .416, so the answer is it's not going to continue. Akil Baddoo, same sort of story. BABIP is .431. But still, Jesus Armando Sanchez having a great year. You can see Vinny Tosti basically being his usual self. Nick Prado having a good year. Cole Enright, you can see, just kind of go through the list. Really, it's just Griffin Conine, who I would assume will turn it around. But he has not been great so far this year. You can see hitting about .240 and not slugging that great. Ohtani's been fine offensively, not great, but certainly fine. He is walking quite a bit and slugging a pretty good rate. Nick Madrigal, a little bit disappointing. He seems to have kind of gone back to his old self. Again, a below average offensive player, but the defense makes him slightly above average. So, I mean, it's worth keeping him, but of course we picked him 3rd overall. That comes with a lot of expectations. So, overall, you should probably be happy with the way that Madrigal turned out, but, he definitely had more upside, that's for sure. Anyway, let's get to the first-year player draft. So we do not have a first-round pick because we signed Ohtani. However, we should have a compensation pick. So in a way, we kind of have a first-round pick. It's just a little bit later. I was looking at the players who are on the board, and my, oh my, there is no one here. I mean, there is absolutely nobody here. So we'll see who we're going to be picking up, but I think we're just going to be looking through hitting ratings and just picking guys with good tools. Good work ethic, things like that. Just take a quick look because I am interested to see who is the first overall pick. And you can see it was a relief pitcher. I mean, that probably shows you how bad this draft class was. But Juan Beno went second. I mean, he's someone that looks solid, but someone that I probably would have found in like the second round in most drafts. So Anyway, that is what it is. You can see that we have the 8th pick here in the supplemental round. So there is this Phil Ashley. He's got that classic changeup that's probably never going to develop. You could say the same thing with the control, most likely. Even his stuff hasn't moved at all. So I don't think this is someone who I'm going to go after, but he is interesting for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, pitching wise, I just don't really see anything, to be quite honest. I mean, I just see nothing. I think in a later round, I might just grab Phil Ashley. I don't think he's going to develop, but figure for $2.2 million, he might be worth it at some point. But for now, we're going to go with that shortstop that we found. Yeah, this Bo Devaney, he looks pretty good, and he's got good work ethic, so we're going to take him. So now we are here in the second round with the 27th pick. So Phil Ashley still on the board. I don't see anyone else that I would even think about. So I'm going to pick him up, even though I kind of know he's not really going to pan out. I'm just going to auto draft the rest of the rounds, which is kind of sad. So definitely let me know if someone knows, like, if I'm missing something or, what to do, if you can increase the talent level that's in the draft. I don't know, but it's been the last couple years. The draft has just been like nothing. I'm not even excited about any of the prospects I'm drafting. So anyway, okay, so I'm trying to figure out if this is somewhat realistic, but I got a lot of teams who are really looking to trade for Nick Madrigal. So that gave me some ideas. Why not shop him around, see what would be the best offer I could get for him. And Shea Langoliers came up, who, if you don't know, is quite the catching, not really prospect anymore, but he's certainly a very good catcher. You can see he was the first overall pick in the 2019 draft. Someone who's a very good, rated catcher. In the past, hasn't had the greatest seasons in the major leagues, but this year seems to be putting it together a little bit more. And he's on pace for a 4.4 win season. Good amount of team control still left under his belt. So that's someone who I'd certainly rather have than Nick Madrigal. So in this trade, we'd be giving up Nick Madrigal. We'd be giving up Kevin Rose, who's, a very good closer, but if you know me, I don't really value relievers that highly. And in addition, his BABIP is unbelievably low, so I don't really think that he's going to be continuing to pitch quite at this pace. And they were willing to do the trade just for that. I think that is clearly not fair. So I also added in Aiden Ayotte, who's one of our better outfield prospects. So I'm hoping that this evens things out, a little bit more. I'd be a little bit sad to see Ayotte go, because I think he is a pretty good prospect and could turn into a solid major league player. But I think this makes sense. Shea Langoliers, someone who was the first overall pick. Madrigal, someone who is the third overall pick. Both maybe a bit underachieving just in terms of their statistics so far in their career. But I think clearly we need a catcher, and we have a shortstop who is ready to come up, and that would be Jorge Corona, and it would be a bit of a position change for him. You can see these offensive ratings. They're really ready for the major leagues. He's been hitting pretty well in AAA. I don't really know that he's 100% ready for the majors, but I just take a look at his ratings, and I think he's basically ready to make the jump and probably be maybe as good as Madrigal was. And then this would be a big upgrade at catcher. If Langoliers can be anything from, what he's projected to be. He's still, 26, 27 years old? Yeah, 26. So anyway, hopefully this is fair enough. I think that the White Sox are basically rebuilding. So it kind of makes sense for them to get some younger prospect guys. And that's what they'd be getting. So we're going to do this trade. So I've set up the batting order. I think very clearly now we've turned things from, we're still developing people to, this is our window. This is our win now time. And that's a lot of the reason why I made this trade, is I think this helps us this year. So Corona is going to be taking over as our everyday shortstop. And now we've got a proven major leaguer in Shea Langoliers, who will be taking over at catcher. In terms of injury news, Blake Snell is injured for a little bit of time. You can see hamstring strain. He'll be out for 3 weeks. So I'll have to figure out who to bring up in that time. So we're here at the international free agent signing period, and doesn't seem like there is too much to look at here. I don't mind this Rogelio Castillo, especially with the good work ethic here. So I think that's who we might be signing. He's not spectacular by any means. Actually, this Pinzone looks pretty good. Yeah, Pinzone is going to be cheaper, and we are running a bit low on money, so I think that we're going to be going with Pinzone. Let me offer him more like $2 million just to make sure we get him. So we will see if he signs that contract. Okay, wow, that was a long break. We are here at the 2024 All-Star Game. So let's see what happened. The National League won with Kyle McCann as the MVP. Wonder if he has any relation to Brian McCann. But anyway, that's who it was. Let's take a look at the All-Star rosters, see who we had. So Shohei Ohtani, no surprise there. Kevin Rose, who kind of sort of was an All-Star for us. Shea Langeliers, who, again, technically an All-Star for us, but really was on the White Sox most of the season. We also had Kevin Prado and Jesus Hermano Sanchez and Griffin Conine, so a lot of representation. You can also see Kappa Zoo made the All-Star game, and Khalil Lee. Those are two people that were within our organization. So a lot of representation, I guess, in different ways if you think about it like that. But anyway, that is the All-Star rosters and what happened in the All-Star game. All right, so sim ahead a little bit more. We are essentially at the trading deadline right now. You can see we've lost 5 games in a row. We've been sliding quite a bit. That winning percentage has fallen a lot during the last couple of months. So we're currently 62-40, but the important thing is we are still 11 games ahead in our division. It's kind of been the pitching staff. Everyone's kind of been falling back down. Morales has definitely been a bit of a disappointment since coming back. Hoping that he can turn it around. It's been kind of an odd season for him for sure. Martinez obviously started so well, kind of expected the regression from him. Could maybe say the same about Snell. Axel Jimenez, though, has still been pretty dominant out of the starting pitcher role, so we're going to keep him in there. And we moved Beeks and Skoglund to the bullpen. In fact, our bullpen itself has not really been great, so kind of been the pitching. I expect things will get a little bit better from where they are right now. And the hitting has been awesome. So Nick Prado, let's see, Griffin Conine's been turning it around. He's still a little bit cold so far, but Corona's been not too good offensively. That's okay. I guess we'll figure it out. We'll just check back in at the end of the season. Unless something crazy happens, we will win the division, just given the lead that we have and given that no one else in our division seems to be too much of a threat, but we shall see. So thanks for watching this episode, and I will see you guys at the end of the season, unless the September race is interesting. In case, I will see you in September.